swag, not the thing or the concept or anything like that, but the project that was done this past week. Okay, so this was pretty much started out as a joke where Nicholas basically turned to me and said, we should do something with swag, and I was like, okay, let's make our computers say it every 15 seconds. And so I wrote a little script in C in about half a minute that just printed swag every 15 seconds. And then other people were like, why don't we do this in other languages? And so I made a Git repo and everybody started submitting code to it. And so people chose what they wanted to implement it in, and the only rule was that it had to function properly. Next slide. So this is just two examples of what actually happened. The first one's done in BASIC and the second one's done in C. It's literally just swag to terminal, wait 15 seconds, and then go to 10, repeat. And the next one was while 1, printf swag, sleep 15. So, okay, next slide. So, I thought that this was really cool, that everybody actually contributed to the code, and they wanted to look into it and learn from it. And so I thought, for the future, we could do something similar to Project Euler, where you have a process, a set of problems that people want to solve, and they choose what language to implement it. But these aren't like math problems or anything complex where you're doing like rotations and things like that using bitwise functions and all that, but like little simple things like printing out the word swag every 15 seconds. And so like weekly challenges that would be awarded points or something like that on a website where people could simply go to, and by doing these would start to learn about languages and how they interoperate, how while functions and for loops and constructors and sets start to work together. And in doing so, learn languages, even if they haven't known yet. So that's what evolved out of swag. And that was my MicroTalk that I did for 5 minutes. And yes, are there any questions? Because I can answer the questions.
Can we make a code golf version of swag?
There might be a code golf version of the website, but I feel like the esotericness behind like creating code golfed applications so that other people, it's kind of teaching you bad practice if you do code golfing because you. Yeah. Any other questions? Doreen.
So, are you just gonna write swag every week, or is this gonna be like? I mean, I know you said different ones, but can we go into a little bit more detail about like what you have for ideas?
Okay, so the concept behind it was like, I know I enjoy personally solving little puzzles, like just little tiny things, and so certain puzzles are very well implemented in computer programs. Doing string operations, moving around letters, like giving, for instance, starting with string formatting, you could say give a word and then have it insert a word after that in a sentence after every space, things like that. And so not something where we just print swag every 15 seconds, but slowly leading up to more complex projects, so that people would get into the site as it was beginning, perhaps, or go back all the way to the beginning projects, start through a sequence, and then slowly bring up programming abilities in their own language that they chose to, simply by doing lessons that would slowly introduce them to CS concepts throughout the way.
So is this similar to like codingbat.com at all?
I've honestly never heard of it.
Okay, so what codingbat is, it's essentially what you described, simple problems to solve in programming, and they give you the problem up on the page, and then they give you a text box where you type in all your code. They only support Python and Java right now. You type in all your code, and then you say run, and it runs a whole bunch of test cases against it, and you either pass or fail. There's I think 200 some odd problems on it or whatnot.
Okay, it'd be similar to that, but we wouldn't have error checking. It'd be mostly community-based error checking. So people would submit an implementation that they thought was the best, for example, and then people could choose from that implementation to go into the database of possibilities. And so, has anybody ever been to Code, Rosetta Code?
Yeah.
Rosetta Code is a wiki site that has a lot of standardized problems that are done in CS, implemented in about 40, 50 languages each. And so they have examples of while loops and do loops and for loops and string operation and all of this sort of stuff done. And what I wanted was something similar to that, but also created by community as they learn the language, so that it would lead up to harder problems. It wouldn't run the code and test it for them, but it would give an idea of how to implement it properly. So, any other questions? So yeah, you might see something from this later on, maybe like an ssc.go link or something like that from a Ruby web app where this is starting to be prototyped. But yeah, that's the idea behind Swag. Thank you.